Today I've been out in the garden. Well, not all day. First we went looking at a few of the late spring sales, and that's one of my favorite things to do. You know, if there is something that you wanted but you didn't want to pay that price for it, if it's still there, you can go ahead and get that now. And I just went around looking for places where there was a little spot to put something, and then checked what I had purchased and checked to see if it would fit there. So I've been doing that today, and it's just been such a really good day. And it's kind of overcast between sunshine and cloud, and I heard a little bit of thunder just a little bit ago. So we are supposed to get rain tomorrow, and actually it's kind of sounding like we could get some tonight. So I still think rain is a good thing, although I know there are parts in Oklahoma that just do not want any more rain for a while. We never want it to go totally away. We don't like that drought, but we do love the rain, but we also love not to be destruction. We don't want any of that destruction in the form of high winds or hail or any of that kind of stuff. So I may have already told you that I always feel like June is all about the lilies. We'll start out with these Oriental, and what's the other one? Oriental, and there's another one. Oriental, and what's the other one that comes up on these stalks like this? I can't think right now. And then there'll also be soon the daylilies. I do have some of those open too. I'll show you those in a bit. Did I tell you I did it? I got all of that. Yes, I remember telling you now that I got all the Trinity plant up, and that I'm sure there'll probably be roots that'll still come up, and there's still a few in this daylily, and there's some over there in my it's sometimes called Christmas rose, and I'm not thinking the other name for it, Lenten rose, and my Lenten rose, and I'll probably have to dig that up and find the other roots and get those out of there too. But it feels good to get them out of there. And I transplanted a little piece of one of my spirea bushes here, and I think it will do much better here than where I had it. Oh, look at this pretty petunia bloom. I didn't see it earlier, but I was going for my daylily that is blooming. There will be lots of daylilies. This one here is blooming and looking good. I saw a little spider on this yarrow, if I can, and yes, he's still there. I'm going to try to get his picture just because it's, you know, as spiders go, I know some of you are like my daughter and can't stand a spider in any way, shape, or form, but you can hardly, I don't know if you can see him there because he's yellow, the same color as this yarrow, but he's kind of pretty there. If I could get him in focus where you could see. And I wanted to show you that this is what Dichandra looks like when it's coming up from seed. I didn't plant one here this year, but when I saw this coming up, I pulled them up before when they looked like this, thinking it was a sprig of grass, but it will grow to look like this, and then it will turn its pretty little powder blue color. And then I did, of course, have to put a Dusty Miller in here, because I just think a Dachshund without a Dusty Miller is lonely. They just kind of need each other. They're both beautiful, but put together, they're just wonderful. And here's another lily blooming for me. I did have to spray for those beetle type bloom bugs that just totally eat the bloom out. There's probably one over there now I could show you. I'm not sure. But while I'm showing you this, I also wanted to show you this pretty little prairie coneflower, or shooting stars. And it's so pretty growing there beside that lily. And yes, there is one of those beetle things down in there too, if you can see it, which I just hate those things. If you don't get them off, it won't take them long to, you'll come out and all these petals will just be dropped off. But hopefully I got them, at least for a little while. I also noticed while I was out here planting today that, see this shooting star or prairie coneflower, it just grew right in with the larkspur, and it looks so pretty like that. I wouldn't have thought of it, but God did. I enjoyed being with a couple of my friends this week too. I looked at one of my friends' gardens, and we were going to go around to some of the nurseries together, but she actually had something else she needed to do with her granddaughter. So, you know, granddaughters take precedence, and that's the way it should be, so that's all right. But this beautiful plant right here is one she gave me, and it's a purple heart, but it has this beautiful bright pink in it that just sets the purple off. So pretty. She gave me some of those last year, and I thought they had all turned purple, but I think I saw some around front that are starting to put a little bit of the pink in with the purple. I thought they might, but they hadn't yet I hadn't noticed them if they had when she gave me these. So isn't that pretty? And then my other friend that we did go around to, we went to Horse Creek Nursery together, and she is just beginning to get the flower bug. So she wanted a red caladium, and I found a pink penta, and we really enjoyed just looking around and visiting with each other about what we like about flowers. She loves orange, so I'd given her last year I had given her the orange butterfly plant. So she's just beginning to love plants, but once you begin, it's kind of hard to quit. So we'll have her looking like this. Probably her yard will be looking like this before too many years. So it only took me a little over 20. But I was busy with a family and a job and all those other things, and I just didn't, I don't see how anybody does it while they have that, but I know people do. I don't have that much stamina. But I'm loving it now. You can hardly see where I planted things, but this is one of the things, this little globe flower, and it's just a purple globe flower. I planted it in there where that calabrachoa had died out. So I hate to lose my calabrachoas, but I know that I do each season. I lose them, but last season I got one to live all season long, so that just got me trying more to see how many of them I can get to live. And also I noticed there was a sweet pea bloom here. If I would show you that. Clematis bloom, and I see there's several more buds on here. And here's some more lily blooms. And I just saw a blackberry that looks like it's ripe. And I just saw some more. Those look good. My husband and I have been eating cherries, not off my tree. I'm sorry to say the birds and bugs got all of those, which we didn't have very many, but we did purchase some and they were so good. So I think I've told you before, but I didn't when I was talking about the cherries. Didn't tell you what this is, but this is a fanfare gaillardia, like the blanket flower, in the same family as the blanket flowers are. I've just got them growing here together, and that's the way I like them. This old type one is my daughter's favorite. She says it's one of the few flowers that belong in my garden because it's an actual native Oklahoma flower. And then these are my favorite. I don't know why, I just think that's so cute. Each little individual flower making up the flower petals. My little red bird's in a tree. It's planted right here. I don't know if it's going to make it, but I'm going to pray for it too. I want it to make it. I don't know how many of those I've tried, and they're supposed to be native to this area too, and I cannot get one started good, but I have a feeling if ever I do, it's going to do well and be beautiful. I still have hope for this, and it has a fairly good little root, but this ground was too hard for it. When I put it there and came back the next day and looked at it, I dug up some soil and put some softer soil there. So hopefully those roots will send up some more little green, but I know they may not. I'm just hoping they will. I told my husband I need to get out here and pull up some of these larkspur. I certainly don't want all these going to seed. Can you imagine what a mob of larkspur I would have? It is so pretty. That's what he said. He said, well, just let it go and let it be that many, but I don't think he really wants that. It would just be too much. So I do need to get some of it out of here because each one of these will put on seed. Actually, these are the seed right here. This, it's green right now, but when it dries, you can just break it open and it's full of seeds, like a little tiny green bean full of seeds. They are beautiful though. I just need to pull some of them up. This is a red hot poker, and of course more larkspur all around it. That's a pretty, I think that's called wasabi coleus. And then above it there is the beautiful clematis called the President. And here's another clematis. I think this one is called the Hagley Hybrid clematis. And it's kind of all growing over this way and growing over my little hanging pot there. And I'll fix that away from it later, but right now I think it's pretty, so I'm leaving it there. It's kind of covering her up a bit, and all that all around her looks pretty. But it actually belongs over here on this trellis, and I will get it more trained up over it at a later time. These little calabachoa are still holding on. I wish they would hold on, and not only hold on, but just grow like crazy. It's still pretty even just like that. These are some more of my daylilies that are blooming, but it's about the end of their day and they're looking a little bit scraggly. They won't be back tomorrow, but some of these others may and probably will be open for me. Oh, and I see some yellow rosebuds there too. We'll soon see if this is going to come back true to what it was last year, because there are little buds on there. So I'm hoping this will be candy cane verbena again. And even if it's just white or red, I'll still love it. Get that pretty clematis or clematis, however you say that. Isn't that a pretty one? And I also wanted to say thank you for going on a garden stroll with me. There's some pretty pink lilies blooming. And the snails got after my beautiful little white impatiens. I hate that. You can see around this side of it, they're still healthy. And then right over here, they're gone, except for the little scraggly pieces that they left. But I did put some coffee and coffee grounds in there, and I'm hoping that will deter them. Look, Jet, this little bear saying hi to you. That's for my sister. Oh, this is one of the plants that I got on the, I don't think this was half price, but it was quite a bit off, and it was a very pretty plant. I love this color. I love the clematis. So there's just not one that I don't love. Like even this pretty little green one right here. Isn't that pretty? And my brother painted that bird for me. I love it. It's it may be my favorite thing he painted, but I like all the stuff he painted for me. Oh, this is a new plant that I got on sale. Got this one at our local nursery, Janie's Nursery. Oh, and I was going to tell you that my daughter got me one of these when she was, I don't know if she was 2 yet, but she was close to 2 years old. And her daddy took her down to our local florist, and they bought me one probably 3 times the size with many more candles on it, or shrimp, whatever. This one is called a shrimp plant, I believe, but they're also called candle plant, but which I think I like that name better for them. But he had her to sign it, and I still have the card. Oh, what a surprise. I didn't even know he would think of something like that, and it was the most heart-touching thing. It was so wonderful. And I took the plant in and killed it. Of course I killed it, which I'm hoping not to do to this, and I'm getting better. I know that I was overwatering, but houseplants are still very hard for me. Look at this lovely pink geranium shining in the sun, the last of the evening sun or afternoon sun. And this is another little plant that I purchased on half price sale. It's another globe flower with a soft purple color. The impatiens are still looking good in this strawberry pot. I may have found the best thing for it. I said that last year too, and it wasn't. It looked beautiful. If you'll remember, I did the purple alyssum all around it on the sides, and then at the top I did a yellow marguerite daisy, and they just shone for a little while, but they didn't make it through very long. Probably by the end of, let me get that dove if I can, by the end of the season they were, or not even by the end of the season, by the end of June they were gone mostly, and then they went ahead and went. So I want something that'll stay, and impatiens do for me. Actually, for me, impatiens do better than petunias do. If I can keep the impatiens watered and in enough shade, they just keep right on going through the heat. They don't mind it at all, as long as they're getting water. Whereas the petunias, it just doesn't seem, no matter how much I water them, they seem to wane and go away when the weather gets the hottest. Right at the first of this, I think I took some pictures the second day of June and put this on, and now it's opened even more, and I see a petal that's fallen off, and I would just almost guarantee you that's from one of those bloom bugs. I hate those things, but this is so pretty. When I first saw it, it was totally like in your face red. It's so pretty. It still is, but it's just a shock to see it that first morning. And so far, my Persian shield is a beautiful purple, and my begonia is this pretty red and black. I love this color, and it even, I doubt if you can see it from there, but it actually looks like the red has glitter in it. It's so pretty. But mine last year went back to green, so I don't know if this one will stay this color or not. And my little house plant, peacock plant, is not strutting its stuff that much. I don't know if I'll be able to keep it outside at all, and I'm so bad with houseplants. I hate to kill this beautiful little plant. I hope I can keep it. You can see the underside of it there is that pretty purple, and then it's green and white variegated. It's a very lovely plant. Oh, and I think this is the plant that made me fall in love with begonias. I love it so much. Just green, but look at all those shades of green and textures and curlies, and it's just so beautiful. Let's see, there was something in this little pot. Oh yeah, it was this begonia right here that I got it at Atwood's on their half price sale, And there's some little plant back there. Oh yes, this one. You can't tell a lot about it right there. Let me see if I can get a little bit better picture from this side where you can at least see the color, which it doesn't look like much right now either, but for half price that one will, it's healthy enough that you can tell it will come out of it if nothing doesn't happen to stop it from it. It's doing really well. Of course, this is the area that I do have to fight snails, so we'll see how that goes. But so far they have bothered things, but they haven't totally destroyed anything, as long as I've been putting coffee and coffee grounds on it. So I'm hoping that I'll get to keep everything. There's another pretty begonia called Martha Stewart. And then that's my silver begonia. I also love this foxtail lily. It's also one of my favorites. My friend Alma had one that's just, oh, it's at least three times bigger than this, and it's so gorgeous. And since I'm talking about begonias, I might as well not leave this one out. Isn't that pretty? And I've saved it 3 years now, and that is a record for me. This little angel wings plant I like it too. I like that white and bluish powder blue color, which this one is more white than it is powder blue, but I still like that color. I really love how the Dusty Millers always make the colors, every other color stands out more when it's put beside a Dusty Miller. Oh look, my little tatting fern is doing well right there. I've tried them several times and I don't really know why I'm so attracted to it, but I am. It looks so pretty and I hope I can keep it. And I think that is another fern right there. And then there's also a hosta plant, of course, right there. And here's my little heliotrope plant. Look at it, it's just gone to town. I purchased another one for my friend. She liked this when she was at the house, and I purchased one for her today, and it looks so scraggly, but it won't be long till hers is looking just like this. Oh, and I did get another hibiscus, and I have no idea what color it is. They had several on the half price sale, so I got this, and I love hibiscus too. This one is an annual. It will have to be brought in, so I purchased another pot. Here I am saying I'm going to not have so many pots and then getting more, but I'll definitely want to take the ones in that need to go inside. And also I got so excited when my friends were here. One of them I told her I would show her how to save the petunias from seed for next year, because I had put them in that box over there, and I'll go over there and show you, which I'm sure I have, but I'll get it on there again. But these all came back from seed. These petunias, and I've thinned some of them out, but I still need to thin some more of them out and put them in little places and where I need something. And I gave some away to both of my friends that were here, and I just need to show her. I was going to show her how you save the seed, what part of it is seed, and she's the one that's just starting with the plants. And so she said last year she just threw her petunias away after they went brown, which that's fine also, but let me see if I can find one just in case she's watching this. Okay, like now this petunia is not spent, but this one is. You can tell it's all withered, so when you clip them off, to clip them off past that little nodule right there at the end. And then this little nodule will be where, when it dries out, it will just be a little round thing right there, and you can just break it, crack it open, and sprinkle the seeds that are in that little round nodule at the end of the flower bud. And the reason not to leave it on your plant when you're, don't just, let's see if I can, I don't know if I can find another one here now, but like if I were to just pull that out, that's what I used to do, but it leaves this little nodule on there, and the plant thinks, oh, I'm spent now, I don't have to do any more flowers, and I'll just make a seed, and it makes a seed out of that little nodule right there, and then it stops blooming. So the thing to do if you want to keep them blooming is just snap that off. Here's one right here I see. I'm going to just go ahead and get this one. Like, don't just pull them out like that and leave that nodule, that break it off until in the fall. And then in the fall, leave you some. And the ones that you leave, after they get hard and crack open, just crack them open and sprinkle them where you want them to grow up, or else you can just leave them and they'll crack open themselves and grow up where you had them last year. So it's pretty simple. A lot of them will come back. Now they may not come back true to some of the fancy colors. They may just come back to the pinks and purples, pale pink and pale purple, but they're still very pretty and they smell good. But anyway, I would get so excited showing her one thing. I'd tell her about one thing, and then I didn't finish telling her about the petunias, and I don't know what all else I didn't finish that I had started to tell her. But we just went from one thing to the next and just enjoyed our time together and enjoyed looking at the nurseries and at each other's gardens and just enjoying plants and each other's company. You know, there's a scripture that says to do good and to communicate, forget not, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased. And He knows me so well. He knows those things are a sacrifice for me. I love people, I do, and I loved being with my friends, and just having friends is wonderful. But I loved being with them, but I just have this thing that I want to be alone after that. I've got to calm back down. It takes me a while to calm down because I get so hyper. Look at these petunias. Now that's what they'll look like when they just come back from seed. From every one of these came back from seed, and you can tell the colors they are pinks and purples and whites. So just let your petunias go to seed, or save some of those little round nodules and pop them open with your finger and just sprinkle them as you go and put them where you want them to come up, and you'll have bunches the next year. And I'm a bit excited about having a few pink larkspur this year. I wish I had more of the pink, and then I have a few of the real pale blue or white. But I'm not saying anything against this blue, because this blue is just beautiful. These are also petunias that came back from seed, and they're a dark purple. I noticed that the other day. They're very pretty too. And I'm going over here for this hollyhock. Isn't that pretty? It's kind of got a two-tone look. And there's another pink larkspur with the blue. And there's some more hollyhocks that kind of have that two-toned effect. I don't know if that's due to the cloudy in the sunshine coming through the clouds, or really what's bringing out that color that much. I've not noticed it being two-tone look before, but it's pretty. And this sea holly is beginning to open up and show its pretty blue color. So I told one of my friends I'm going to get her onto succulent. So I'm going to bring her over one of these days when we both have some time and have her just take a look at this. And I think I'll already have her hooked. Succulents are so beautiful when you put them together. It's just something about all those different colors of green and textures and variegated and just so pretty. I love the succulents. They're pretty alone, but it's just that when you put them together and they play off of each other, they're so pretty, so eye-catchingly beautiful. And here's these petunias I was telling you that came back volunteer and that are a darker color, so that's nice also. Of course, I love them all. This is some pretty color. There's one of the lighter colors. I actually went, or one of the things I went to look for on the half price or the sales, not all were half price, but they were all some good sale, was the Gerber daisies. And I did save at least 2, maybe 3, I think just 2, through the winter. So this is one of them, and it's looking good now. It looks so scraggly when I brought it out, but it looks good right now. But I didn't find the Gerber daisies, but it was so well worth going for the things I did find. There's some more. These are all volunteer, because I certainly would not have planted them that thick, and I still need to get some of those out of there. But they came back really dark this year, which is kind of amazing, but I love that. Usually they're the lighter colors. My little globe allium is about to go away. It's turning from its brighter purple to this softer purple, and then soon they'll just turn brown. You can also bring these in and spray paint them and keep them as a dried flower. They're pretty. And I brought my little angel from the back and set her here in the front, where she looks out onto the traffic when you come by. I think she looks good there. But she looked good in the back too. I just wanted to come around here and get a better look. And wow, look at this petunia today. It's all bloomed out. So I guess I'm going to have to call it a day. And it has been a very good day. My husband's been spoiling me. Took me to breakfast, took me around to the places, the sale places where I didn't already go with my other friends, which I must say he also took me when I went with my friends. So it's good to have him home and off of the road, because he used to drive truck, and it's just good to get to be with him and good to get to do some of the things we enjoy doing together, or I enjoy, and he doesn't seem to mind to go with me, and I enjoy him being with me. And the Shasta daisies are looking good today.